have a horrible feeling that many on the left will stick their fingers in their ears and dismiss the exposure as a fabrication. Dan Hannan. Dan Hannan, MEP for the South of England, said he worried Labour's left-wing contingent would stick their fingers in their ears to ignore claims Mr Corbyn met Czechs by Jan Sarkocy in the 80s at the height of the Cold War. The spy said he recruited asset Mr Corbyn is an informant, but the Labour Party denied payments had been made to Mr Corbyn, who believed Sarkozy, who worked for intelligence agency STB, was a diplomat. Writing a comment piece in the Sunday Telegraph, Mr Hannan said, "I have a horrible feeling that many on the left will stick their fingers in their ears and dismiss the exposure as a fabrication." The internet is humming with their bizarre denials. If he did meet a Czechoslovakian spy, albeit one he thought was a diplomat, it was to help de-escalate the Cold War or something. And anyway, what about Theresa May meeting the King of Saudi Arabia? Related articles. Stupid Jeremy Corbyn willingly supplied communist regime with info. Corbyn's spy links should be investigated by MPs, says espionage expert. So far, this sophistry has come mainly from Momentum thickos. But mainstream Labour MPs, those who sided with the democracies against the Marxist dictatorships when it counted, are conspicuously silent. Mr Hannan said he was prepared to accept Mr Corbyn's denials that he had acted as a paid agent, but added, "The fact remains that he met a Warsaw Pact diplomat at a time when all such invitations were tinged with espionage, that he failed to report the meeting to the authorities, that he gave that diplomat useful information, and that they continued to meet." The idea that conniving with a communist autocracy is comparable to conservatives having dealings with Saudi Arabia is too fatuous for words. Politicians occasionally need to talk to unsavory regimes. But no Tory, to my knowledge, has ever held up the desert theocracy as a model to follow. Corbyn, by contrast, plainly wanted to copy aspects of the Eastern Bloc. How could a self-proclaimed human rights champion have found things to admire in police states like Czechoslovakia and the GDR, which imprisoned and tortured dissidents? The answer seems to be that Corbyn's dislike of the West trumped everything else. Over the years, he has formed effective alliances with such monsters as Slobodan Milosevic, Vladimir Putin, Fidel Castro, Hugo Chavez, the IRA, the Iranian Ayatollahs, Hamas, Hezbollah, and even a gang of Somali pirates, because NATO was attacking them. Mr Hannan suggested many of Labour's young supporters would dismiss the revelations as ancient history, but added, Corbyn's opinions are not ancient history. He has not recanted or disowned them. On the contrary, hostility to Western values and interests continues to define his politics. Today the Sunday Express reported Mr Corbyn should face a parliamentary investigation via the Intelligence and Security Committee to see if Britain's security was breached. Espionage expert Professor Anthony Glees said, he should produce his comments diary for that period. Jeremy Corbyn's spokesman described the allegations he was paid for information as a ridiculous smear and entirely false. Related articles. Furious Labour defend Corbyn's meetings with Czech communist Iron Mite. Thatcher deported communist spies who met with Corbyn. Millennials' property woes could see Corbyn in power, PM warned.